Am I the a-hole for not letting my miracle baby niece be my flower girl at my wedding? My 27 female, older brother and sister-in-law, both mid-30s, just welcomed their first child a year and a half ago, after years of trying. After many failed attempts, sister-in-law was told that she wouldn't be able to conceive due to a medical condition she has. Then they finally got pregnant. Since having my niece, the baby has been the center of attention at every family event we've had since she was born. Birthdays, weddings, family get-togethers, you name it. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my niece, but it can get to be a little too much when my sister-in-law goes on and on about how long they tried to conceive, complications they've had, miscarriages they've had, etc. Like a little too much info. Many family members have commented on how it's a little bit excessive, but no one has said anything because they don't want to sound like an a-hole. Anyway, I'm getting married in the spring, and my brother and sister-in-law approached me last weekend about having my niece be the flower girl. Now, my fiancé, 35 male, has 2 children, 10 male and 6 female from his previous marriage. His son is one of the groomsmen, while his daughter had asked to be our flower girl when we told them the news that we were getting married a year ago, as it's something she always wanted to do. So, of course, we said yes. So, I explained this to my sister-in-law when she asked me about my niece. She asked if my stepdaughter can just carry my niece with her, and I said I don't think she'd be comfortable with that considering she's 6. She then asked why I can't give that role to my niece and allow herself to carry my niece down the aisle as a flower girl. I said no, because I already promised my stepdaughter. She then started going off about how my lack of effort to incorporate my niece is disgusting to her. I should honor her in some way, since I know how long and hard they tried for my niece. Now, I may sound like an a-hole for this, but I kind of got fed up and snapped and said, incorporate my niece how? By the time the wedding comes around, she'll be 2 years old. The entire family already knows your story about how long and hard you guys tried for her. What more do you expect me to do to honor her? She started crying and said that clearly I don't love my one and only niece, and I'm letting her down. I said, of course I love my niece, and obviously she's going to be involved in the pictures and stuff, but I'm not going to let my stepdaughter down by giving my niece a role she's too young to remember anyway. Well, now sister-in-law and my brother are angry with me for not letting my niece be flower girl, and are running around telling the rest of the family I don't love my niece. My mom had been trying to stay neutral, but thinks my stepdaughter would understand if I explained to her I need to give that role to my niece. I'm firm in my decision though, and my fiancé is thankful that I didn't let his daughter down. Am I the a-hole for not allowing my niece to be the flower girl? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Let them be pissed. If ever there was a time to take a stand for your stepdaughter, it is now, without knowing her story or how she came to be part of your life. She's 6 years old, and you've made a commitment to be in her life. The moment you make it official revolves around her as much as it does you. You absolutely have every right to honor the stepdaughter over the niece. And these first moments as stepmom are going to cause the ripple that forms the pond that is your relationship for her whole life. Trust me, if you back down now and give her spot away, it's going to ruin more than just your wedding. I 100% agree. I came from a family with 2 divorced parents myself, and I'll never forget how horrible I felt when my dad and stepmom's wedding I wasn't included in it at all. Yet my younger brother was one of the groomsmen. Having that experience myself, I'd never want my stepdaughter to feel that way, or that she isn't involved in such a special day. It just caused so much drama in the family that is so unnecessary. Stop thinking of it as your decision causing drama, and start correctly calling it your sister-in-law causing drama, because she wants to be the center of attention at your own wedding. It's your day, not hers. Not the a-hole. She's their miracle baby, not yours. The fact that they want you to disappoint your soon-to-be stepdaughter in order to make their daughter the focus of your wedding is absurd. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not giving my daughter, who eloped, cash for her honeymoon? My daughter Jane recently eloped with her partner of 5 years. My wife and I were excited when they got engaged to plan a wedding, but she said she didn't want to rush setting a date or planning a wedding. This was understandable to us, and we didn't want to rush them either, but we let her know we would contribute a set amount to her wedding when the time came. Then last week, she tells me she has an announcement, and that they actually eloped together, because they decided they didn't want the big event with all the attention on them. This was a little disappointing, but we understood. She's never been the type to want to be in the spotlight, so while we weren't expecting it, it wasn't the biggest shock in the world. What did feel like a shock is when she assumed we'd just give her that amount of cash straight up. She said they wanted to use it to take a month-long traveling sabbatical/honeymoon. My wife and I told her the money we were prepared to give her was for a family event, not just for her to do as she pleases. If she didn't want a traditional wedding, that's fine. But we never told her we were just giving her, say, $15,000 for the act of getting married. We just didn't want her to have to spend a ton of her own funds on a wedding. And since relatives and family friends would have presumably been there, we were happy to pay for it so she wouldn't have to. 2 of my nieces have gotten married in the last couple years, and it's a family event to us, not just about the 2 people getting married. This has caused a whole thing with her saying we went back on our word to her. But in my mind, we never told her otherwise. We did say if she wants a second ceremony/family event to celebrate but would it be an official wedding, we would sponsor that. If she had asked if she eloped or had a tiny wedding if we would give her some of it for a honeymoon, we may have considered it, but it's hard to know because we were never given the request. They just went and did their own thing, which again is fine. Am I the a-hole for not giving her the cash we would have paid? Not the a-hole. Your expectations and conditions are entirely reasonable. It wasn't reasonable for her to assume that she could simply take the cash option here. A wedding with just the people getting married is only about a couple. A wedding with both families invited is a family event focused around a couple. Not the a-hole. You and your wife offering to contribute toward wedding expenses in no way means your daughter is somehow entitled to that money if a wedding does not take place. That's just entitlement on your daughter's end. Yes, and it's a conversation you have with your parents before you elope. I talked all my options out with my dad. He was willing to give us a set amount if we eloped, or contribute the same amount to a wedding. But it's a discussion, not I got married. Can I have the cash? My father-in-law told me if he were in my shoes, he'd take some of the wedding fund they had for us and maybe use it as part of a down payment on a house and cut expenses here or there with the event. So we did exactly that, but he explicitly said that was an option. Never in a million years would I have expected to just be gifted that money. Especially for a honeymoon. I mean, that doesn't mean it's not important to some people, but I can imagine parents being happier helping a child with a home over a once-and-done expense. My parents offered to kick in for a portion of my wedding, or give me the equivalent if we wanted a destination wedding. We never had a third option for cash. It was always for the wedding. Next story. Am I the a-hole for oversalting my brother-in-law's food? I, 29, may love to cook, and even more so when I'm cooking for other people. I'm also the kind of person who likes to be good at everything I do, so I put in a lot of effort into cooking and also always ask for feedback so I can make it better the next time. The one thing I ask for is that whoever I'm cooking for takes one bite before adding anything to it for 2 reasons. 1, I want to know how my cooking turned out. 2, it's kind of rude to assume someone's cooking is lacking before you even try it. I understand that people have different tastes and palates, and I wouldn't ask them to not put any more salt, pepper, or other seasonings after they try it. I just ask for one bite so I can get actual feedback. My brother-in-law, 36 male, doesn't agree with me on this, and when I've asked him to just try it before adding salt, he gets heated and says that he knows what he likes, and he should be able to do what he wants with his own food. I fully understand and support him eating his food the way he likes truly. But at the end of the day, how does he know whether or not I've salted my food enough if he doesn't take a bite first? Like I said, I'm always trying to improve. So I make changes dependent on people's feedback. So the recipes change every time I make them, adding a little bit here and taking away a little bit there. So there's no way for him to know how my next dish will come out. I also don't cook for him all that often. Maybe once or twice a month when the family's over. Anyway, the last time I cooked for the family, I made sure to put extra salt in because that was the feedback I got the last time I made that specific dish. Another thing to note is that brother-in-law adds salt to all of his food, and it's always a substantial amount of salt. So when I served brother-in-law's plate, yes, he can serve himself. I just like to also put effort into the presentation. I told him that I added more salt than usual, so he should try it before he adds salt. He said, "I'll do whatever I want with my food, thanks," and just brushed me off. We sit down to eat and he immediately starts salting his food like usual. Everyone else is trying it and saying it's really good, and they give me a solid 8/10 when I specifically ask for a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. Brother-in-law takes a bite and makes a face. He's very fair, and so it really shows when he's irritated because he gets really red. And he was red as a brick. I asked him what was wrong with it, and then he accused me of oversalting his food on purpose, so that it'd ruin his food when he added more salt. Here's where I may be the a-hole. I responded by saying that maybe if he tried the food first, then he wouldn't have oversalted it himself by adding more salt. He got pretty salty, pun intended, over what I said, and my sister called me petty for messing with someone else's food, and now he's refusing to eat what I cook. My mom is a peacekeeper, so she's telling me to apologize, and my dad doesn't think I did anything wrong. So am I the a-hole? Edited to add. I added more salt to the whole dish before serving it to anyone. He got the same amount of salt as everyone else before he added salt on his own plate. I'm not sure if this matters, but I don't stare at people while they eat, and I'll wait until we're all done and we're doing dishes for feedback. I agree with commenters that it would be strange to just stare, wide-eyed and waiting for everyone to take their first bite. Also, I don't mind how anyone likes their food. They can have it as salty as they want. I just ask that they take a bite first instead of assuming that it won't be to their liking. I'd also never say anything about it to anyone I wasn't extremely close with. It's very common in our family to give honest feedback on stuff. My mom at her crafts, my dad with his cooking and woodworking. So it's very normal for us to have the kinds of interactions. Now for the top comments. So you put the same amount of salt into everyone's dish, but because it was an appropriate amount of salt for the dish, your brother-in-law adding additional salt made his oversalted? You didn't oversalt the dish. Your brother-in-law oversalted his own dish. Not the a-hole. You were way too nice. Him refusing to eat what you cook sounds like a win. No need to cook for the rude, entitled a-hole anymore. Remind them before he comes over again that he will need to make sure that he has eaten before coming over from now on. I frankly wouldn't invite sister-in-law or brother-in-law over for something that includes a meal-first attitude even before the salting issue, and for her enabling rudeness, generally unappreciative and downright rude. Tell your sister and mom that you are not apologizing. If he wants to be a patty child, then he can. I'd tell them the following. If he doesn't want to eat my food anymore, that is his choice. But I did not target him. I warned him of the extra salt in the dish. I asked him to just try one bite before he added salt, and he chose to ignore and dismiss me. That is not my fault, and I'm not going to apologize. This is it, right here. If Opie did not tell brother-in-law and only extra salted his plate, then maybe I could get behind the YTAs here. But Opie warned him, and he childishly dismissed the disclaimer. Absolutely not the a-hole. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to pay for dinner? Typing this out sounds insane, and I really don't think I'm in the wrong, but I just need to know. So a friend invited me to a dinner party at her house a few weeks ago, and the actual dinner party was last night. I asked if I should bring anything, but she said no, that is not a potluck. She'll be making dinner for everyone. There were 7 of us total and the food was good. During the meal, we were all laughing and called our friend the dinner host a chef, because she made a big dinner for all of us. And we all said how much we appreciated it, because it's hard to get everyone together at the same time. At the end of dinner, we all helped clean, wash the dishes, then have some wine. It started getting late, so people started to head out. And on our way out to dinner, host said don't forget to Venmo/Cash App/Zelle her. Some of us were confused because we had no idea what we had to send her. So I asked her, what am I sending you money for? And she said for cooking dinner. Me, I don't understand why we should pay. Her, because I spent my money and hosted the dinner and cooked. Me, none of us asked you to. You volunteered to do it, and you never mentioned paying until now. Her, I didn't do this for free. Me, you should have told us before you hosted that you expected this. I don't think it's fair to just bring this up and expect people to pay. She called me an a-hole and said again that she didn't spend hours to cook, grocery shop for free. I have never heard of this, like ever. We kept arguing, and after a while, I just Venmo'd her the $40 she asked for. I don't think I'm the a-hole at all, and some of my friends agreed with me. Some have said it's normal to pay for dinner during a dinner party at someone's house, so now I'm not sure. Edit. A lot of you have asked what she made, and it was some salad I've never heard of. The main course was smoked Gouda mashed potatoes with beef short ribs. A dessert I forgot the name of. I think she said she bought this from a bakery. She also made vegan mashed potatoes and vegan ribs for one of our friends who is vegan. She also made or bought chicken skewers as the appetizers. Even though she said not to bring anything, I brought rum cake from my local bakery. And yes, everyone brought something small. We also had charcuterie and cheese board that 2 of the girls brought. Some girls brought wine, and we even had one girl bring candles to set the mood. We are in the US and none are European. I spoke with some of the others, and although they had paid for a dinner party before, it was discussed first. No one has ever done what this friend did, which was spring an unexpected cost on us. All of us are in our early 30s. The group chat is going crazy right now because everyone is angry at her. Not the a-hole. What your friend did was extremely scummy. She invites all these people to dinner that she is making with no mention of paying before and after this. And then when everyone is done eating and finished cleaning, out of the blue she expects everyone to give her money? If I was expected to pay for a dinner without knowing until after I ate, I would have skipped the dinner entirely. Cut contact with his friend. She shouldn't be hosting dinner parties if she will put stunts like this. Some have said it's normal to pay for dinner during a dinner party at someone's house. No, this is not normal. It's normal at the restaurants, but at one's house? This ain't normal. And it sure isn't normal to wait until after the food was eaten and everyone helped to clean up. At a restaurant, guests get to choose the dinner as well. And not clean up, lol. $40 is a bummer, but in the long run, it's a small price to pay to learn that your friend is tacky, cheap, has bad manners, and has no social intelligence whatsoever. Consider it part of the cost of doing business as an adult, and handle your relationship with her in the future accordingly.